Of Belarus, and I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.
شكرا سيد الرئيس.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, my delegation renews its constant position that rejects the politicization of the machinery of Human Rights Council and to use it in order to serve the interests of some important countries and to target certain countries in particularly country for reasons having nothing to do with international law, nor with the Charter of the United Nations, nor with the human rights conventions and instruments. My delegation rejects completely to deal with the questions of human rights with double standards and with shameful selectivity that concentrates on certain countries in particular and rejects and ignores crimes of war, genocide, and supports of terrorism and serious violations of human rights that some members in this states commit, sometimes individually, sometimes under international illegal alliances that were created outside the United Nations. Among these alliances is the illegal alliance led by the United States of America, which commits crimes one after the other against civilians in my country and destroys the civilian infrastructure, including schools, hospitals, dams, and bridges, without any moral accountability whatsoever. Mr. President, the questions of human rights are one part to deal with human rights, and states that we have to deal with that with professionalism and impartiality and to stand away from shameful practices like confrontation and blaming others and trying to to isolate other countries. My delegation in this respect condemns very severely the pressures by some countries on human rights mechanism, including the Human Rights Council, by withdrawing from these mechanisms, or the threat to withdraw from these mechanisms, or to lay pressure through economic assistance in order to cover up the crimes that those countries commit together with their allies. We condemn the attempt to deal with the agenda of human rights in a manner that serves the purposes of the Israeli occupation. Also, the mixture between we do not accept the mixture of the agenda of Human Rights Council and Security Council. Mr. President, my delegation, Syria, underlines that there must be an end to the crimes and serious violations of international law and international humanitarian law and human rights instruments that are committed by the Israeli authorities against the residents of occupied Syrian Goal and other occupied territories. Also, we call for immediate end to the crimes of illegal alliance in my country and to its support of terrorism. Also, the illegal alliance has destroyed completely the city of Raqqa. It has used prohibited weaponry against civilians, including the white phosphor and other. yesterday, we have found collective graves that includes the bodies of more than 4,000 Syrians, most of whom are children and women who died because of the acts of this illegal alliance. Of course, these crimes and the crimes of other terrorist groups and the practices of terrorism supporting countries do not find their way to the reports of a Human Rights Council or to the United Nations because of the politicization and the selectivity and the double standards in the file of human rights. In fact, there are hundreds of letters that we send and many members in this organization say they would like to protect human rights and international law. This situation requires that there should be immediate move under the umbrella of the United Nations and to adopt serious steps, firm steps, in order to promote the equal treatment in terms of the Charter, human rights, the 70th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a good opportunity to reform and to review the situation. Mr. President, the European Union has just spoken, and it referred to what it called human rights situation in my country, Syria. In this respect, my delegation, Syria, calls upon European countries to raise their voice against the governments that support terrorism, and not only to talk about these issues behind closed doors. This is shameful. People pay their blood for the price of their silence. There should be firm steps in order to put an end to terrorism, and not behind deals and the black doors. We call upon to lift unilateral economic sanctions imposed on Syrians, which represent violation of their rights and a collective punishment imposed by Europe and other countries that contravene the international law and the Charter of the United Nations and the principles of justice. We call upon European countries in the illegal alliance and coalition to withdraw from that coalition and to stand away from the crimes committed by this coalition and its criminal acts against the human rights and its crimes against civilian Syrians. Again, the discourse of hate and extremism should put an end to, especially vis-à-vis the refugees, migrants, including Syrians. We should not link the humanitarian and development act with other things that have nothing to do with development. They have to support the efforts of the Syrian government, which seek to the return of Syrian refugees in safe and dignified manner. Thank you, Mr. President.
Doy las gracias.
I thank the distinguished representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.